By the end of this video, you will learn why pickleball is getting more aggressive every single year, how modern paddles are changing shot selection, and the 5 shots you're going to see everywhere in 2026. Think of this like a relaxed chat after a good practice session, where we break down what's actually happening in the game and how you can stay ahead instead of feeling left behind. The first shot you're going to see a lot more of is something called the defensive drive. Even though the name sounds passive, this shot is anything but weak. It's simply a smarter way to handle difficult situations. Traditionally, when players received a deep, heavy return, they were taught to hit a third shot drop. The problem is that dropping from far back in the court, especially off a hard, deep ball, is one of the hardest shots in pickleball. Miss it slightly, and you're in trouble. The defensive drive changes that equation. Instead of forcing a low percentage drop, players are hitting a controlled topspin drive and using it as a transition shot. The goal isn't to win the point outright. The goal is to keep the ball low, prevent an attack, and earn a more manageable next shot. With modern paddles, this works incredibly well. A lower, slightly slower drive still carries enough pace and spin that opponents can't easily attack it. Often, the reply comes back shorter or softer, giving you a much easier opportunity to move forward with a drop or even crash the net. The mindset shift here is huge. You're not swinging for damage, you're swinging for position. Once you embrace the idea that this drive is simply setting up your next move, consistency skyrockets. The next shot redefining modern pickleball is the aggressive topspin drop. This is a big departure from the traditional slice or push drops many players learned first. Instead of floating or sitting up, a topspin drop moves through the court with purpose. It's hit with a drive-like motion, brushing up the back of the ball, and the result is a drop that jumps forward after it bounces. That jump is the key difference. Slice drops tend to sit up, especially with today's paddle technology. When the ball sits, aggressive players can attack it. A topspin drop, on the other hand, never quite enters a comfortable strike zone. Even if an opponent takes it out of the air, they're often forced to defend instead of attack. What makes this version super aggressive is the pace. Players are hitting it lower and harder than a traditional drop, trusting spin to bring the ball down. Modern paddles allow for this extra margin, making the shot both aggressive and reliable. On the backhand side, this is where the two-handed technique really shines. It's extremely difficult to generate quality topspin with a one-handed backhand drop. That's why you're seeing more players use two hands, even if they didn't grow up playing tennis. For years, the transition zone was treated as a survival area. You reset, you block, and you wait. That's changing fast. With the pace and spin available today, players are learning that if the ball pops up even slightly, waist height or higher, the transition zone can become an offensive opportunity. This is especially true after aggressive drives or heavy topspin drops. Instead of automatically resetting every ball, modern players are reading height and timing more carefully. When the ball is attackable, they're rolling or driving with confidence, even from midcourt. The key is recognizing when the ball is above your strike zone and committing fully. This doesn't mean reckless swinging. It means understanding that not every transition ball needs to be neutralized. Some can be punished, and when that happens, it often leads to an immediate crash forward and a chance to end the point on the next shot. The two-handed backhand is no longer optional if you want to stay competitive. It's becoming a cornerstone of modern pickleball. Players are using it for dinks, counterattacks, drives, and topspin drops. The biggest reason for this shift is offensive potential. A one-handed backhand is fine defensively, but it limits your ability to apply pressure without telegraphing your intentions. With two hands, you can generate topspin that mirrors your forehand. That makes your backhand less predictable and far more dangerous. Opponents can't sit comfortably on slice dinks anymore because you can roll, flick, or speed up from the same position. The technique does take time to learn, especially for players without a tennis background. The important concept is that the non-dominant hand provides the power, while the dominant hand stabilizes the paddle. Thinking of it like hitting a forehand with your opposite hand helps everything click. Once it's developed, the two-hander removes one of the biggest weaknesses most players have, the inability to attack confidently off the backhand side. final shot you're going to see everywhere in 2026 is the aggressive roll volley. This is how players punish balls that are too high to ignore but too low to smash. Roll volleys use spin rather than brute force. Instead of swinging flat, players roll up and across the ball, sending it dipping quickly at their opponent's feet or angling it off the court. One major shift is how often right side players are using this shot. Historically, the left side player handled most of the aggression. Now, with better paddles and better technique, right side players are attacking from the middle just as effectively. You'll also see roll volleys used heavily on fourth shots, especially against drops that land a bit too high. Rather than resetting, players are stepping in and rolling with conviction. Angles are another big part of this evolution. Not every roll volley is about power. Sometimes the best play is a heavy spin ball that pulls your opponent wide, opening the middle for the next shot. Pickleball in 2026 will reward players who understand modern tools and modern patterns. You don't need to master everything overnight, but you do need to be aware of where the game is going. Start experimenting with defensive drives instead of forcing drops. Learn to add topspin to your drops. Get comfortable attacking when the ball pops up in the transition zone. Invest time into a two-handed backhand. And don't be afraid to use roll volleys to apply pressure. If you found this breakdown helpful, stick around. There's a lot more coming, and the goal is simple: help you play smarter, more confident pickleball as the game continues to evolve.